What's up guys, it's Will here back again, and today we're here to do something very exciting, and that is to go over the ultimate, the definitive Moduspace buyer's guide for those who are considering displaying their collection with Moduspace cases. Guys, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that notification bell down below so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. That said, let's discuss some display cases. All right, guys, so full disclaimer here in pursuit of transparency. I do have an affiliate link with Moduspace in the description below. So if you click that link and you purchase Moduspace cases on the website, I do get a small commission in return for that. As you can see, I'm also a Moduspace fan. I purchased these Moduspace cases out of my own pocket. And obviously I wanted to create a buyer's guide that can help people if they're considering purchasing Moduspace cases in the near future. And I'm always upfront about this stuff. This video is not intended to be a sales pitch to say, buy Moduspace cases and get them in your room tomorrow. I want to showcase how great they are, sure, but I want you guys to make your own decisions. I have a video linked in the description below that talks about the 5 best display options for hot toys collectors. So if you want to check that out, there are other options out there, but I want to be upfront. I obviously do have a relationship with Moduspace, but I'm creating this buyer's guide more so because I think a lot of collectors are interested in Moduspace cases, but they don't know where to start. But before we get too far along, let's discuss a few fundamental tips that I think will be helpful in you deciding to purchase Moduspace cases or anything else in between. Really, the first question most people are going to have if they're not familiar is, what are Moduspace cases, right? What they are, they're modular display cases designed to display collectibles. It can be hot toys, it can be statues, it can be Legos, anything in between. Depending upon the size and the scale of the collectible you're trying to display, that would determine which type of Moduspace case you pick up. But essentially they're meant to be stacked, assembled horizontally, anything in between to make a really cool display case with great lighting and just a classy look. So that's basically what they are. And with any display case, any arrangement of collectibles, the first thing you really want to do is to measure out your space. You got to determine how much room you have for display cases, because if you don't measure, you're going to be shooting in the dark and then you're going to have things everywhere and it's going to look like you didn't put much thought into it. So measuring your space is really important. And the second thing is to determine the size of your ideal collection, right? You can look at your collection now, but think about where your collection's going. Project for the future. Do you want 100 figures? Do you want 150 figures? Do you want more than that? Do you want 50 figures, right? That's something you want to determine before you buy your cases so you know kind of where you're headed. And the next step would be to determine your budget. So you have to think about how much money do I realistically have to spend on these Moduspace cases? They're not inexpensive, but they are great value. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, but they are going to be pricey at the end of the day. But so are these collectibles, and you want to display them as classy and ideally as possible. And the final tip, which we will talk more about throughout this video, is to determine if wall combinations, prepackaged sort of bundles from Moduspace, are better for you than purchasing single sort of Moduspace cases that you're assembling individually. Those are two different options, and we're going to determine kind of which one works best for you over the course of the video. But with those brief tips out of the way, let's discuss what Moduspace offers for 6-scale collectors. If you're looking for high quality cases to display your 6-scale collection, you'll want to look at Moduspace's 6 series or their DF series. But for most collectors, the 6 series are probably going to be a better option because they are tailor-made for 6-scale figures such as Hot Toys, InArt 3.0, and so forth. There are 6 different 6-case series types, so there actually are corner cases that are designed to be placed in the corner of your collection room, while the other 6-scale cases are designed to be more modular in nature and connect to one another, either vertically or horizontally. These cases can be stacked on top of one another or side to side and mounted securely with brackets, so everything connects as one unified display. The nature of your setup will vary based on what your needs are and what you think looks good, but I'd be willing to wager that most 6-scale collectors will probably go with some combination of 6 165 cases and or 6 110 cases. The 6 165 cases can accommodate more figures because they are about 21 inches longer than the 110s, so I'd reasonably expect 15 figures comfortably to fit in there, with room for much more depending upon poses and placement and accessories, base sizes, all that good stuff. The 6 110s can probably accommodate 10 figures comfortably, with again, room for more depending upon how you arrange your figures. The 6 165 cases will hold a little over 65 pounds in weight, while the 6 110 cases can hold about 33 pounds, but unless you got a figure in there that weighs the same as Hulkbuster, you likely won't be going anywhere near the max payload, so you should be fine. These cases come in black or white, so you'll want to decide on the color beforehand to keep your displays uniform. As for the 6 series wall combinations, there are 6 different prepackaged bundles. So these bundles are actually cheaper than if you were to buy each of these cases individually, but you should review your options in space to determine if any of them work for you. They each have combinations of different 6-scale offerings, and they list all the measurements, the cases included, and so forth. They're great bundle options for collectors looking to display a Hot Toys or other 6-scale, series collection. The DF series are also a viable option for 6-scale collectors, but these cases are generally a bit taller because they're meant to hold bigger 6-scale figures or quarter-scale statues. There are 6 different cases in the DF series. While most of the 6 series are about 19 inches in height, the DF series are generally about 25.5 inches in external height. There are exceptions for both the 6 series and the DF series that you can check out on the Moduspace website, but generally speaking, the DF series are taller with a little more depth and a little less length. This is due to them being some sort of a hybrid option for bigger 6-scale figures and quarter-scale statues, as I mentioned. You could also reasonably display probably 10 to 15 6-scale figures in a DF 120 case, which is the longer of the DF series cases, or maybe like 8 to 10 figures in a DF 60 or a DF 30, the more compact DF series cases. Again, though, this will vary greatly based on poses, how big each figure you have is, whether they're holding lightsabers, and so forth. And there are shelves you can buy to maximize vertical space for both the 6 series and the DF series, but more on that later when we get to the accessories part of the video. As for DF wall series combinations, there are only 2 options. For the sake of time, I'll let you take a look at these on the Moduspace website to see if they work for you. Just keep in mind that you would not want to mix the DF and the 6 series cases if you plan to stack them, because in order to connect and for them to be modular in nature, the depth of the cases needs to be consistent. And the Max series is for statue collectors. Those are far too large for a 6-scale display, but if you would like to see me discuss Max cases, please let me know. But for this video, I'm going to keep it to just 6-scale cases and accessories to keep it simple. So let's move on to accessories, because Moduspace offers some really cool accessories that help you customize your display to your liking, to make it your own, to make it something you're really happy with. They have different risers, shelves, different types of lighting. So guys, let's take a look at all that right now. Lighting is super important for a display, and I've personally never seen brighter and better LED lights than the ones in Moduspace cases. I personally favor the pure white LED light strips. There are warm white options that are a bit warmer in tone, but for me, the pure white is a more natural overall light. The spotlights are great if you're displaying one figure or statue in isolation, but it's not as even and is a bit more moody. I'd say strip lights are better for most applications and a more uniform light. You can buy lights separate, but they also come with whatever cases you order as well, so just make sure you order the ones you want when adding your actual cases to your cart. Display risers are intended to be attached to the bottom of your Moduspace cases to make them taller. You generally only need one for the case on the bottom of your stack, if you need one at all. They can raise your cases to varying heights, but mine for the 165 cases is actually 4 inches tall. I'd consult with Moduspace before purchasing to find the right one for you, but the website does list which risers are compatible with which cases for convenience sake. It helps to raise the cases off the floor a little bit for 6-scale displays, especially, so you can see everything. So it's just easier to, really take it all in. Top boards are wooden boards that can be placed on top of Moduspace cases. These boards allow a collector to display collectibles on top of the Moduspace case, whether it be a statue or a figure. It just can't exceed about 70 pounds in weight. These are cool, but to me, part of the allure of Moduspace cases is displaying the collectibles inside the actual cases with lighting, dust proofing, and so forth. Displaying collectibles outside of these cases kind of defeats the purpose to me, but it is an option with top boards if you'd like. Please do not put your collectibles on top of Moduspace cases without a top board. They will very likely fall through at some point. Shelves are a very popular accessory for Moduspace cases. They are compatible with DF series, Max series, and 6 series, but you need to pick the right one at checkout. For 6 series cases, the Moduspace website only lists a full shelf, meaning it stretches the full depth and length of the case. You simply would attach it to the inner part of the case once assembled, and the 6 series shelf has plexiglass in the middle and can hold roughly 22 pounds of weight, which is still a lot for 6-scale figures. The DF series has a half and a full shelf option to allow collectors to display a statue or a line of figures if they wish. I'm not sure if you could order a half shelf for 6 series Moduspace cases, but I bet you probably could, so I'd recommend emailing Moduspace to ask. Next up, let's discuss price, the real elephant in the room here, because price is something that can be referred to as a con when discussing Moduspace cases. I used to be in this camp as well, discussing Moduspaces in sort of a negative light because of the price, because I was displaying my collection in DTOFs and custom wooden cabinets my dad picked up from a closing antique store. Eventually though, when I moved back to Maryland, I decided to go all in and give Moduspace a go, and my collection has never looked better. I plan for these cases to be my forever display cases, and they've elevated my collection to a level I didn't think was realistic for me. Moduspace cases may seem expensive, but you can purchase a whole wall combination for the price of 5 or 6 Hot Toys. These wall combinations could display most collectors' entire collection and still have plenty of room to grow for the price of a handful of figures. Buy nice or buy twice is the consumer rule by which I live, and when you buy Moduspace, you're buying nice and a very fair price for what you get. Display is just as important as the collectibles themselves, because if the collectibles aren't displayed in a classy way, it cheapens the entire experience. Let's discuss the other elephant in the room, and that is delivery time / wait time. Delivery time will vary, but as of me recording this video, Moduspace is advertising 6 to 8 month wait times for standard cases and probably closer to 10 to 12 months for custom size cases. If you need to order custom size cases, please email info@moduspace.sg for more information. Most of my cases are custom size, and the process is really simple when you communicate with Moduspace customer service about what your display needs are. We wait much longer than this for a single figure, so waiting this long for your forever display cases shouldn't really be a problem. And next up, let's discuss where to actually buy Moduspace cases. In general, the best place to buy Moduspace cases is directly from Moduspace. The website very clearly lays out the prices. They run sales for major holidays, and shipping is direct from them. So if there's an issue, it's generally easier to arrive at resolution when speaking to the Moduspace team direct. That said, there are other great retailers to buy Moduspace cases from. You can buy them from Comic Concepts, you can buy them from Spec Fiction, and of course Sideshow. There are other great places to purchase from, of course, but for me, buying direct from them, knowing their customer service is good, I had a few issues that were resolved relatively quickly. I waited about 12 months for my Moduspace cases. I think it's a really great place to buy, and buying direct is good if you can trust the company, which you can here. All right, guys, so that's that. There's the definitive buyer's guide for Moduspace cases for 6-scale collectors. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know whether you want to purchase Moduspace cases, or maybe you have them already. What do you display your collection with? Do you have DTOFs? Do you have custom displays? Do you have Bestas? Do you have, what's the new one? The IKEA one that, people aren't crazy about. The Belitten, that's what it is, right? What do you use? Are you happy with it? Do you want to upgrade? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe I should run a poll on that. Guys, make sure to click that like button, subscribe to the channel down below, and click that notification bell so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. Of course, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I do have an affiliate link to Moduspace. So if you want to support the channel and you want to pick up some cases, click that link down below, and then of course go about your shopping spree. But of course, do your research, figure out what cases work best for you. Don't just purchase on a whim. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research, look at everything, and see how you feel about it. Guys, thank you so much for the support and the engagement. As always, I really appreciate you. And if there's any other topics you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comments below. Guys, I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye. Bye.